All right. Spider-Man Far From Home. The trailer dropped last night. After it had leaked online first. And basically, this has happened a few times now with MCU films, where it'll leak online and that'll kind of force the release of the trailer a little bit earlier than it normally would have happened. And before I get into what I thought of the trailer, I just want to talk a little bit about, the impatience of modern day fandom. And I might sound like, the old man telling kids to stay off his lawn. And maybe I am at this point. I don't feel like I'm that old. I'm in my 30s, but, nowadays, that may be considered ancient. Times are a-changing. But seriously, even a decade ago, it seems like we didn't know anything about a movie until a trailer dropped. We didn't know to expect a trailer. We didn't know when a trailer might drop. We didn't know there was a trailer. A lot of times, most of the time, generally, people didn't even know much about the film, whether it was even in the works. Like, you didn't even know a film existed. Okay, let's go back 20 years. Let's go back to the 90s, which is when I was a kid. You didn't even know a film was in the works until you saw a trailer. That's how surprised we were when anything came out. And nowadays, you have all the information years in advance. And then, you're waiting on a trailer to drop. You're waiting on, and you're trying to pinpoint when that's going to happen. I can't imagine doing that when I was a kid. It's just, it takes so much of the magic out of this, cinematic, I don't know, entertainment. It takes all the magic out of it. Like, people looking for spoilers, looking for leaks, looking to find things out before, not even just before a film releases, but before a trailer is even released. And it seems like we already know so much about films long before they come out. And especially with this latest Spider-Man film. There's been so much speculation and so many supposed leaks and spoilers that have been dropped, and finding out actors that were connected to it, and it just wouldn't happen back in the day. If an actor accidentally said something, it just didn't become news in the way it does now with the internet, spreading things like wildfire. When I was a kid, I would never know if an actor said something in some random interview with Entertainment Weekly or something. But nowadays, yeah, they can spoil a whole film. Tom Holland did this years ago. It's like, it's crazy. And I just miss it. I miss things being a mystery. I miss not knowing anything about a film until a trailer dropped. And then when we did get a trailer, it was vague. It was vague as hell. It gave you some action sequences, a couple funny lines, and that was it. That was it. You weren't even completely sure of the plot. Nowadays, they give you everything in the trailer. They give you the plot. They give you the subplot. They give you the funniest lines and the best action sequences before you even see the film. And it's just upsetting to me. It's just sad. Like I said, I'm whining at this point, but I'm a little disenchanted with the whole process now, because people were clamoring for this trailer, this Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and saying, oh, it's going to be about this and it's going to be about that, and we already know all these things. And can you imagine how flooring it would have been, how massive of a surprise it would have been if we didn't know anything about this possibly being a Spider-Verse film? If it completely caught us off guard. Maybe the trailer comes out and they do the spoiler thing. They show you like one character from another movie, and it makes you go, what the hell? How's that guy here? It's not from the same Spider-Man films. Like, if you saw that and that was all you got from the trailer, and you had to go see the film to find out that it was this, multiversal Spider-Verse film, that possibly Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to show up, that Andrew Molina was going to show up, that Jamie Foxx was going to show up. Can you imagine going to the theater and that just unfolding before your eyes without knowing that that's what you were going to see. Without even a hint that that's what you were going to see. How much of an awesome, badass, like mind-blowing surprise would that be? But something like that, it isn't even a possibility anymore. It's not even possible to be that surprised. Like I said, I sound like an old man. Like, the internet's ruining everything. No, I love the internet, man. It's, I podcast on the internet. I make money on the internet. I communicate on the internet. I love it. That's where I watch films. It's like so many things I love about the internet. But one thing I cannot stand is this current state of affairs when it comes to how we go about consuming film, consuming TV series, consuming media. Everyone demands to know things in advance, and it's impossible to avoid some spoilers. Like, knowing that this movie might be a Spider-Verse film, I bet people that don't even know anything about any of the Spider-Man films, people that don't know that the Tom Holland Spider-Man is a completely different set of movies than the Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. Those people even know that this is going to be a film that features all three and it's a big deal, or that all the villains are coming back. Like, everybody knows it. It's impossible to avoid. And it's just sad. I so wish we could have seen this trailer without any of the bullshit. And I feel like it was about to drop, guys. It was about to drop. I'm almost positive it would have released with Shang-Chi next week. We're at the 6 months out mark. It makes sense. It would come out with another Marvel release. The other ones are a little bit too close to the release date. This would have been it. Next week. You guys couldn't wait one more week. And because of that, when I woke up this morning and watched the trailer that had been dropped, that had been forced out, basically, I was not that blown away. And that should have blown my mind. Should have blown me away. But it didn't. And that is so sad. So sad. That should have been such a huge surprise. That should have been such a major trailer. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop ranting about that. It's getting old. I get it. But I'd love to hear your guys' input on, the current state of affairs of movie going and movie consumption. Let me know. Now, to what I thought of the trailer. As I said, seeing it wasn't as impressive as I would have been if I didn't know anything. And if people hadn't forced it to come out. It took something away from it. Nothing grabbed me about it. The only thing that really caught me off guard, and let me say, I am so excited for this film. So excited. But the trailer didn't blow me away, It looks good. It looks great. But there were some things that were a little odd about it. Let me just point those out here. Because that's all I can say about it is, it looks good. It looks on par with the other MCU films, which is fucking excellent. But there were some oddities. And this could be because of things that weren't revealed in the trailer. Now, first of all, Doctor Strange looks really weird. He looks strange, no pun intended, he looks weird in this trailer. His hair is off. It looks like a wig. It looks fake. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe this isn't our version of Doctor Strange. Maybe it is an alternate version of Doctor Strange, and that's why he looks so strange. Also, he's acting very out of character. I don't feel like he would do that for Peter. Peter asks him if he can basically erase everyone on Earth's memory that he is Spider-Man. And Doctor Strange is like, sure. And has to be kind of, scolded by another sorcerer. And then just kind of like says, okay, we won't do it. And then winks at Peter like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do it. highly irresponsible. I do not think at all Doctor Strange would do that. So this is either an alternate version of Doctor Strange or something is very weird about this movie. Because the trailer makes it seem as though doing this, trying to erase the world's memory that Peter Parker is Spider-Man is what causes the multiverse to collapse in on itself. I don't think it is. I think Loki did that. That happened in the Loki series. It's completely unrelated to Doctor Strange doing something. So I kind of have a feeling that it's either going to just coincidentally happen around the same time, or that at the point of the film that we're seeing Doctor Strange talking, it's already a different version. Peter doesn't know it's a different version, and it's like the worlds have already kind of started to collapse in on themselves. The universes have already started to merge in some way or something. Timelines are crossing. Somehow Peter ended up on an alternate timeline, I think that's what's going on, because Strange looks so weird. He really does. If you didn't notice it, go back and watch that trailer. It just look at Strange. Just watch him, watch his mannerisms, look at his hair, look at his face. He looks a little off. And I can't quite put my finger on it. So, likely a different version of Strange. And the trailer, like I said, alludes to the fact that Strange caused the multiverse to open up. I don't think that's the case. I think that happened because of the Loki series and what happened at the end of that, where they killed the alternate version of Kang, the variant of Kang. So, yeah. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in this movie. It seems as though it will be that multiversal movie we've been, anticipating. It seems like we didn't see any of the other Spider-Mans in this, but we did see Andrew Molina. We saw things that alluded to Sandman and Electro. We saw lightning, a lot of electricity. We saw what looked like a sand cloud. So very likely the Sinister Six is what they're alluding to in the trailer. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And I know most of this wasn't about the trailer itself. It was me ranting about the fact that the trailer could have been so much more, that this movie could have been so much more if not for the demands of children on the internet. I think that's just the state of affairs now. It's just the way it is. Even if people stopped clamoring for things early, I think now the industry's already, that's the way it's set up now, So, keep the hype machine going. It keeps everyone thinking about these films, speculating all the time. If you drop, major plot stuff in the trailers, and I don't know. They're tricky though over at Marvel Studios. They do like to do stuff in trailers that isn't actually in the film or alludes to something, but it's a red herring. So who knows? But it looks like multiverse, looks like Spider-Verse, looks like Sinister Six. And like I said, that's sad because that was all the speculation was correct. It looks like all the speculation was correct. And it's like, we should never have been able to predict this. All right, before I go on any more of a tangent, I'm going to let you guys go. If you enjoyed what I had to say here, subscribe to the channel or favorite or follow the podcast. I try to do some sort of content daily. I put something out every day. I'm not perfect, but most days I try and put something out. And it's usually entertainment or pop culture related like this, but sometimes I talk about other things, running, fitness, stories from my questionable youth. Just something new and interesting to me every day, and hopefully something new and interesting to you every day. So if you can vibe with that, if you're interested to get something new and interesting in your feed every day, then please subscribe to the channel, favorite or follow the podcast. And if you enjoyed this particular video or podcast, like it, share it. Do all that you can to help the channel grow, to help the podcast grow. I'd really appreciate that. So thanks again. And like I said, if you subscribe, if you stick around and favorite or follow the podcast, then I will talk to you again tomorrow.